Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Thunder Today YouTube channel. I am your host, Dylan Hibbard, and in today's video, we're going to go over the Thunder's easy victory against the Washington Wizards last night. There's a few things I kind of want to dive into and look over, and we'll kind of talk about those things. We're also going to talk about the Pelicans coming into town on Sunday. We'll get our thoughts on that, and then we'll also talk about the Nikola Topic news that came out yesterday. Some unfortunate and sad news for Nikola Topic, his family, and the OKC Thunder, so we'll dive into that. And then towards the end, we will do our week in review for the Thunder news. But don't forget, guys, to subscribe and hit the like button. It helps out the channel so much, especially if you are a daily viewer and a Thunder fan. Subscribe. This is where you get content daily, and it's just a bunch of Thunder news to keep you up to date with everything OKC. But to get started on this Washington Wizards and OKC Thunder game, this was a game like we said we should expect to go in there and win pretty convincingly, and that's what we did in a 127-108 victory. Shea pretty much did not play the entire fourth quarter, which I kind of expected it to be that way. You want to get Shea those times when he can go out there and not even have to play the fourth quarter. And in this game, Shea only plays 3 quarters in 29 minutes and has 31 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds. Just immaculate stuff from a guy who doesn't even play the fourth quarter, still puts up stats like he did play the entire game, like he played nearly 40 minutes, and he'd even play 30 minutes and put up those stats. So just continuous stuff from Shea like we expected, and a really good outing by Shea, especially without J-Dub or Chet. But a big story of last night's game is Isaiah Hartenstein. He had himself 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. Had himself one of the better games he's had as an OKC Thunder, and that's really what you want to see. You want to see guys step up when you don't have two of your 3 best players on the roster. You want to see these other guys step up. Isaiah Hartenstein does just that, dropped 17, 8, and 5 tonight, and on really good efficiency. He was a threat all night long, and that's what I talk about so much. Isaiah Hartenstein has the capability to go out there and do this type of stuff every once in a while. He just doesn't need to, and he plays his role so well that he allows these other guys to score. And tonight he was able to do that without Chet and without J-Dub and a lot of stuff going on with the Thunder, and Shea not playing as much. He was able to get more touches and go off for a near 20 and 10 games. So that was great to see from the Isaiah Hartenstein and stuff. And another 20 double-digit point game for A.J. Mitchell, the leading man for 6th Man of the Year, had 20 points tonight, just continuing to show off why he's going to be in that 6-man race conversation of the year and how he's really going to take off with it. 20 points tonight, he's averaging over 17 now, nearly 18 points a game, and it's just amazing to see a guy who gets drafted in the second round. It's starting to feel like he's turned into the Aaron Wiggins. We have 2 of our key bench players this year so far have been second-round picks, and it's just really goes to show how well Sam Presti is able to get talent. And it really shows that if you know how to draft and know how to develop players well, if you go get those second-round picks and you really trust, you want to be able to use those guys. So I think that's kind of a thing for teams on the future looking out, is maybe those second rounders, if we really see somebody that we think we can get and really turn and develop. I mean, you're probably not going to do it as well as the Thunder have drafting wise. I mean, able to get Lou Dort undrafted, you got Aaron Wiggins in the second round, you got Jay Will in the second round, and now AJ Mitchell in the second round. It just feels like nobody's going to be able to replicate it, but there's going to be a lot of teams trying to go out there and try to move those second-round picks into something else, because apparently Sam Presti has an eye for it. 2 other players to kind of go over for this game before we move on. Cason Wallace had himself a night, 12 points, 4 steals, 5 assists. He leads the league in steals at this current moment, just being one of those guys, one of the best defensive players in the league, especially at stealing the ball on when guarding somebody, and he currently leads the steals. And welcome back Isaiah Joe. Isaiah Joe drops 20 in his first game back, really provides the 3-point shooting that the Thunder need. They haven't had this all season long. They've been atrocious from 3 in the first 5 games, and then you go out here, Isaiah Joe hits 5, 6 threes, and he has 20 points. And now that kind of brings up an interesting topic, because just this week we talked about the Isaiah Joe rumors and how he could possibly get moved. But we'll kind of talk about him and kind of transition into this next point that I want to get to, and then we'll kind of bounce back to Isaiah Joe. But Isaiah Joe has a real chance to go out there and really provide the Thunder 3-point shooting. And I think he can really do it. The Thunder are lacking, obviously, without him in 3-point shooting department. So maybe he is a guy that the Thunder want to keep around and provide that 3-point shooting. I know a couple of you guys in the comments on that video were like, no, keep Isaiah Joe, try to trade somebody else like an Ousmane Dieng for something like that. And I could very well see that happening, especially with his performance so far in this first game against the Wizards. But now we'll kind of transition into talking about the Pelicans. They come into town on Sunday. They are towards the bottom of the West right now. I have a Zion team that still trying to really figure out what they're doing. The Pelicans just 2 years removed from the playoffs when the Thunder beat them in the first round, and they just haven't really been able to find their footing. This is another team that when they come in, even if it's on a Sunday afternoon, a 2:30 tip-off time, something you normally don't see, but it is an afternoon start, so maybe the Thunder aren't completely ready, but with these 2 days off, maybe they will be healthier than we expect, and hopefully Chet will be able to be back out on the court Sunday, and we take care of business, because once again, the Pelicans are one of those teams that if the Thunder want to hit that 70 win marks, you can't really be losing to these teams like the Wizards, the Kings, and the Pelicans. You want to save those losses for teams like maybe the Nuggets, the Cavs, the Knicks, the Rockets, Lakers, teams like that, where if you lose a close one or it's just not your shooting night, you can tip your cap to them, but you really have to take advantage of these types of games that are against the bottom feeder teams if you really want to get to that point of possibly 70 wins. But we'll kind of now talk about some unfortunate news in the OKC Thunder world today. Nikola Topic, obviously you guys know him. He was the first-round pick. We were expecting to get him back at the start of the season, and then it got some news that he had a surgery done. And Sam Presti announced to the media today that he has testicular cancer. Nikola Topic does. So prayers up for his family. Really sucks for him. And the good news about this is his doctors and everybody involved are very optimistic and positive about his long-term outlook, in that he should be able to recover it. It's just we don't have a timetable for really when he's going to play, so there's really no timetable on when he's ever going to be available to play basketball. So just a really unfortunate thing for Nikola Topic. Coming into last year's draft, he was projected a top 5 pick, top 3 for some, and he got an ACL injury, and that bumped him down to 12. The Thunder took that with that advantage of a top 3 pick dropping to them at 12, they would let him sit the year out, and then hopefully he was ready for opening day, and then this comes up. Just a lot of unfortunate news for Nikola Topic, and it really sucks for the Thunder. You never want to see anybody who was never able to get their career started, not even for a minute. He hasn't been out there on an actual NBA court regular season minutes-wise at all. So just a lot of unfortunate news for Nikola Topic. We wish nothing but the best for him, and maybe down the line we can see him in maybe a Thunder uniform or just hopefully on a basketball court once again. But prayers up to Nikola Topic. But we'll kind of wrap up this week just talking about the Thunder news and what has happened in this big week of Thunder basketball. Once again, the Thunder are still undefeated. They go 3-0 on the week, starting the season off 6-0. The last team to start off 6-0 was last year's team, and they won the championship. So they're just repeating a lot of what they did last year, and off to that great start. Hopefully we should see a 7-0 start. We should really see a lot of wins before we really see that first loss. Hopefully we can get around that 15-0 mark before you get to that loss. I think that would set up the Thunder really well if they want to eventually go after that 70-win mark. Once again, just the big news of Nikola Topic is kind of the big thing for the Thunder this week, but I think that also allows, not to be that kind of person because I don't want to talk about this in depth with just how the news was, but that helps guys like Isaiah Joe and AJ Mitchell now that you don't have a guard going out there who is expected to be really good for the Thunder and get play minutes, taking those minutes. So that allows a possible Isaiah Joe now to stay on the team, and maybe the Thunder don't look at shopping him, and that allows AJ Mitchell to continue to get those guard 6-man minutes and really let him take off for it. So yes, at the same time, it's really bad. I don't want to make this sound like something against Nikola Topic. I wanted him to see him out there, but it's also on the side of now AJ Mitchell and guys like Isaiah Joe will not have those minutes affected and help them in their progression of their game. But that'll be it for me today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. The Thunder are 2 weeks in, 6-0. What do you think about the team so far? Who are your surprises? Maybe some disappointment so far. I think I have a guy in my mind who's been the biggest disappointment so far. But let me know down below what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.